we've ever seen. What is it about these two products, Sisel Thin and Sisel Sport, that gets you excited that you knew these were going to be home runs?
Well, thanks for being on the call. I'll tell you what, it's been the best Christmas gift I've had all season, listening to everybody and what they're motivated by and the great results they're having. And so really, number one, people are so excited because it delivers what Anthony was talking about. There is a huge segment, as we all know, if you watch television at all, of people who are interested in weight loss and being the perfect them physically that they can be. And so this fulfills that need. And, you hit it on the head. I've been involved, he said 36 years. That almost made me feel old for a minute. But what it made me think about is everything that I've been involved with for 36 years, I've made hundreds or thousands of products over the years, and weight loss has always been a big one in my mind. And my father, especially the last few years, has been heavily invested in anti-aging, and we are the world leader in anti-aging products with what we're doing with TSX and Fucoidan and Age Pill and Stimulytic and everything. We address all those needs. Well, concurrent with that, I have developed many, many weight loss products over the years, and only a small portion of those we've ever brought out in the Sisel line. But I've investigated many things, forskolin, HCA, raspberry ketones, ECGs from green tea, all the different things that have come out and have touted different types of effects on weight loss. And so just like, everyone's aware of, for 3 years or so, I was studying CBD, never even thinking that could come out. But I've been looking for the ideal combination of what would make us lose weight, or not just lose weight, but do it healthy. And one thing I'd like to maybe clarify on this, because ketosis is a very hot term, a keto diet. We go back a few years, we talk about the Atkins diet. Well, really, any diet that you're losing weight is a ketosis diet. And so ketosis is just the process of converting fat back to energy. And there's also some negative things when people think, I'm doing a keto diet, I'm only eating protein, and I'm not having any vegetables. This diet definitely is not that. I want people to have Spectrum X. They need over 40 different fruits and vegetables in their diet. I want them to have Encompass that has all the vitamins and minerals that you need, and trace minerals. I want everyone to have 100% of nutrition. What we're looking for is calorie reduction. And like any other diet, if you ate a small Snickers bar every day and that's all you had, you would lose weight because your calories that you're consuming are less what your body is burning. You would be unhealthy, and that would be a horrible diet. And just a strict keto, I only eat chicken, fish, steak, pork, if that's all you did, that would be unhealthy. And so I have, I've lost over 20 pounds, and I feel great, but I'll have a green salad. But I won't have, maybe ranch dressing, might have a little lemon juice on it, and I'm thinking a little bit smarter about what I'm eating. But this formulation that we have developed does some great things, and that is I've looked at all the different aspects of why people retain visceral fat or belly fat. I've looked at the different situations in the brain. A lot of diets, you become cloudy-minded, and you start to have cravings. But we're supplying a form of ketones that your body uses as energy. Instantly, when the brain is energized, we do not have the cravings for a couple of donuts, a candy bar, things that are empty calories that give us no nutritional value, but they give us that sugar rush, and then 20 to 40 minutes later, we crash. So we're supplying the brain with that. Now, after the first 2 or 3 days, if you're not taking Sisel Sport, you'll notice a little bit of slump if you're only doing Sisel Thin. Do Sisel Sport with Sisel Thin, and you won't have that first 2 or 3 days while your body focuses on converting fat to energy. So by taking those two products together, we have skipped that first 2 or 3 days that people get a little bit cloudy-minded. They might get the keto flu as their body's starting to convert this fat. Now we're going to supplement. We're going to take Balance D. We need fiber, and that comes from vegetables and plant material. We're going to take Balance D. We're going to take Spectramax. We need the antioxidants. We need the proanthocyanidins. We need the vitamins and the minerals that plants produce. But we're going to do a diet. The more we lean towards not having heavy carbs in our diet, the faster our conversion of fat back to energy, and also we're lowering our caloric intake by doing that also, so our body has to go to its stored energy in order to supply energy for our body. And so with the fucoxanthin, we're getting a thermogenesis effect. We're helping to get this fat ready to burn, easily converted. With the BHBs we have in there, we're supplying our brain and our body with fast energy that is not adding any calories to our diet. So our mental focus is going up. And then we also have the ashwagandha and the fucoidan in there. That's helping with our insulin and our cortisol, because if we can help limit that stress, anxiety hormone or steroid that's being produced, we don't have a tendency to pick up fat and store it as well, and we can burn it easily. So this is really a summation of little bits and pieces of everything that I've gleaned over the last 2 or 3 decades to this point with this product. And I've got to say, I was listening to Bill Whiteley, and he was saying what my wife said, you're losing weight too fast. How come you're punching another hole in your belt? Honey, it's okay. I feel great. Mentally, I'm as sharp as ever. I've got more energy than I ever have, and I'm trying new ingredients. And the nice thing about that for people in the field that are out there thinking, will it work or won't it work? That question is answered. We have people all around the world for the last few months have lost thousands of pounds in total off this amazing product. So we've answered the question already, will it work? Absolutely yes. I mean, you can always eat a chocolate cake a day and take these capsules after you eat and do things to sabotage it. But if you take these 20 to 40 minutes, drink them with a big glass of water, and mentally think, I'm going to eat half and see how I feel. And if I'm still hungry, I'll eat a little bit more. What you will notice over the first 3 or 4 weeks, your cravings will go down dramatically, and your mental focus will increase. Take the Sisel Sport, and you'll get your nitric oxide up. You'll have an even energy. I'll tell you what, it's a 1-2 combo for weight loss that I have never seen in 35, 36 years, Aaron.
Well, Tom, I think everybody, all of us are looking at not only the testimonials that are starting to roll in, and folks, you really need to be cognizant of the fact that we are looking for those testimonials. We love nothing more than seeing people excited about what they've done, and by being able to have something in their hands that is generating some type of reaction in the body to lose weight. And Tom, it's a lot of fun to see. It's a lot of fun to be a part of that. And obviously when people are changing their lifestyle or their fitness levels or whatever it may be, we want to be a part of that, and we want to be, help to be a little bit responsible. But everybody has to do it on their own time and within their own reason. But you have definitely put together a product that is really unbelievable. I mean, these two products between Sisel Thin and Sisel Sport, we have not seen this type of activity, this type of purchasing volume in the last literally number of years. These have just literally gone crazy. So in your opinion, and then maybe I can ask you a couple of questions, but in your opinion, some people have said, for instance, that there are a lot of concerns on caffeine, for instance. Mm-hmm. Some people will say, well, what about our product Sisel Sport and the caffeine amount that's in there? Should they be concerned, the types of caffeine that we use, and then obviously the way you formulated it? Maybe you could answer that question for everybody.
Yeah, so everybody's a little bit different. And so, I've met people who, very rare, but some people can't handle any caffeine at all. And then I have some people who are about bulletproof to any amount of caffeine. But as a rule of thumb, I'm going to say the average person will consume right around 500, 600 milligrams of caffeine throughout the day. And if you're the kind of person that gets up in the morning and drinks an entire pot of coffee, probably that's not a good time for you to have Sisel Sport. And so what we need to do is regulate that. So if you look at the Sisel Sport product, we've done a couple of things. We have anhydrous caffeine, but then we have complex caffeine that are tied up in guarana and herbs like this that are a slower release caffeine to make sure that we have a good, even curve. And so, yeah, you wouldn't want to take everything at once. And one thing I get from a lot of people, they'll say, hey, I've had open heart surgery, or I'm on this medication. If you have a situation to where you're undergoing a doctor's care, you need to talk to a doctor about that and tell him what you're taking. Take him the label. I mean, I see some formulations like I hate to talk about other people's brands, but Mountain Ops, they put a unique blend, their proprietary blend, 900 milligrams, and that contains caffeine. Well, we don't know, is it 900 milligrams or is it 1 milligram? Caffeine, you need to talk to people and let them know. Our Sisel Sport product will have 190 milligrams of caffeine in that. And you've got a combination of faster acting and slower acting caffeine with that product. And so caffeine overall definitely increases mental acuity. You can get some thermogenic effects for fat burning. It can be very healthy, but like everything, if it's way overdone, it can be detrimental. Or if you have a medical condition, talk to your doctor about that. But this is a very healthy, usable, beneficial level of caffeine that we have in each of our products. But even with that being said, you need to see what your limit is on, you take Sisel Sport first, you do your workout, you take Sisel Rip last, those type of things. See where you are at with your caffeine. If you're having coffee and other things too, that all plays into it.
Well, and Tom, I would imagine we would say the same thing. People will ask, well, if I'm pregnant, can I take it? Or I know somebody that's pregnant. Obviously, right. Talk to your physician. Take your supplement facts on the label in. Talk to, or if you have the product, take it into your physician. Right. Any of that kind of stuff, even down to how young someone is before they can start taking them. That pops up all the time.
That does, and one thing about that on weight loss, I mean, once again, if you have a concern, you need to talk to your doctor. Is there any side effects that I can think of this? Only one, and that's weight loss. But even with that being said, you need to, talk to somebody if, you have an 8-year-old child or you want to get them on something like that. There's nothing that I'm aware of, but still, I'm not going to say just give it to a newborn baby or somebody with a heart condition. If they, those situations, you need to talk to your healthcare provider.
Well, and Tom, you were talking about the BHBs that we've used, obviously, in Sisel Thin. There are companies out there with maybe, a version that's really not very complex. I've looked at a lot of them. Obviously, Last number of months, you've educated me on these ingredients that you've put in there. Mm-hmm. Why is ours so complex? And why did you decide to put in the kitchen sink along with everything else to make sure that the weight loss would happen?
Because, there's not just one silver bullet. In weight loss or anything for that matter. Just like I talk about, if I talk about weight loss, absolutely I'll talk about Sisel Thin. That is a major piece of the puzzle. And so with BHBs, that's a smaller piece of the puzzle. That helps us supply ketones to our brain that help us not feel as hungry, give our brain energy, give us focus. But we still need a thermogenic factor, fucoxanthin. We need to have that in there. We still have to talk about insulin levels. We don't want to readily pick up all these carbohydrates in our diet. We like some of these to pass through. Ashwagandha, fucoidan. Those help to regulate that, and fucoxanthin helps to prepare fat to be burned more readily. And also it helps to lower these cortisol effects that we have that help us retain visceral fat or belly fat. So all of those components help our body get into ketosis. Our diet helps us get into ketosis, but there's still other parts of healthy weight loss. Spectromax is a big one. Balance D is a big one. Encompass is a big one, because what you'll see when people go to pure ketosis, they get big cravings, and they also start to get other symptoms of not having enough vitamins, not having enough minerals, not having a balanced diet, and then that becomes very short-term weight loss. And then, like you talked about with Sisel Lean, great way to have for breakfast, have for lunch, or you're right, it takes energy to convert that casein back into protein and peptides, and so it's a great one to take at night to help add to burning fat. There's nothing that's just a one boom and everything happens. And from what I've learned with weight loss for over all these years, and I've had some very good successes, one constant is calorie reduction, especially the right kinds of calories, which are simple sugars. And so when we go through that and we reduce that, there's many things in fruits and vegetables, fibers, vitamins, antioxidants that eliminate from our diet. By doing all of this, we're keeping our calories short or very minimal, to where our body is going to want to convert fat back to energy, and our brain is being satisfied. We have increase in focus, and so now it's like, I'm not that hungry, and you will notice that. You start to eat less frequent, less snacking if you take those 2 capsules prior to a meal and consume, I like to do 24 to 32 ounces of water myself prior to it, and get that in my system and going. And there's only one side effect, and that is you lose weight. Aaron?
Well, and think about this, Tom. So earlier, Bill Whiteley mentioned that he had lost a bunch of weight and obviously was down to 178 right, and just kind of went on this maintenance plan. But you talk about taking 2 pills before, let's say, breakfast, and maybe 2 pills before dinner, but really 4 pills a day.
Right.
Is it necessary to take the 4? Can I back it off to 2? Can I up it to 3 or 1? What's the magic number there?
Well, for the average, 2 before in the mornings, how I take them, and then 2 before I eat at night. But yes, you can, once you hit that, it's like Jason. Right in our office, Jason set that goal when we first started testing this. Well, pretty soon he had gone past that goal. He's like, holy cow, I went past when I got married. Now I'm down to when I'm doing Ironman, and, now maintenance dose, absolutely. So when you get to your ideal weight, you still want to take it because you don't want the cravings to come back. You're really enjoying the mental acuity that you're having. Your focus is dynamic. Your brain's firing great. And you're not getting cravings to snack and eat a lot of these other things that you really shouldn't be taking. And so absolutely. But even with that, 2 and 2 for most people on a maintenance dose would be perfect. And so, but you could always experiment if your ideal weight's 120 pounds. 1 and 1 might be adequate for me. I'll stay with 2 and 2, but I'm a bigger person. Aaron?
Well, so when I think about that, obviously there are different people, but if I wanted to take, let's say, 6 or 8 per day, would that do anything more, or would it really not make a difference?
No, I don't think that would make a difference. If you wanted to do anything, you might do 2 in the morning, 2 before lunch, and 2 before dinner. That would be max, even on a large person with a fair amount of weight, because the amount of fucoxanthin, ashwagandha, the fucoidan, and the different BHB molecules, that is a significant amount for a large or a small person. And so by taking 4, 6, 8 at a time, you're not going to increase at all, and you're not going to, and your cravings won't be diminished anymore. And so that would be you wouldn't see an increase in benefit by taking more.
Well, and that's kind of what I thought, is that we've packed these products, as every one of our products. You and your late father have done an amazing job at obviously putting together formulations that have to have, in my opinion, the necessary amount of ingredients to do something biologically for the body. I mean, you guys just don't. I mean, you didn't build a 300,000+ square foot manufacturing facility to scrimp on ingredients, as we all know. So that's kind of, I think it's part and parcel, obviously, to what we're talking about tonight. And then if I think about, just from the standpoint of looking at the types of products that we have, you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but if somebody just wanted to go crazy and they said, listen, I want to take everything I can get my hands on, are there products that may be more synergistically bioavailable, or would there be any products that you can think of that would cancel out as a result of competing ingredients?
Well, the more fat that you have, or actually not fat, carbohydrates that you have in your system, that's coming from the foods and the drinks that you consume. That would be something that would cancel out the effects of the ketones that you're now supplementing with the Sisel Thin, because now your body is going to, you really have two major focuses for brain energy, either coming through carbs or through fat burning, which is ketosis. And so that would be the biggest thing that you could really neutralize the effect, is to eat a lot of sugars and a lot of simple carbohydrates and things like that. That would, your body then would be switching back and forth, and you'd really slow down your weight loss.
Okay, so in essence, if I can just wrap this up and summarize, because I'm getting texts from a lot of people right now, what I'm hearing is that you just have to really pay attention to your body type, and the types of foods or nutrition that you're putting in your body, the calories.
Yep.
When I think about it from the standpoint of calories, obviously sugars not used convert to fat. Carbohydrates not used convert to sugars and fats. So we're really trying to just cut out some of those simple carbohydrates, simple sugars that are going to convert to fat anyways, that we don't necessarily want to put on. So by cutting those out, we're going to see an immediate impact regardless, right?
Absolutely. Yep. The first few days, all of a sudden, boom, you're going to see, wow, I'm thinking clear, my mind's really focused, and then you're going to get on the scale and say, holy cow, I'm losing weight. And so, yeah, you'll see just in a few days, you'll see it go. And, you can cannibalize it if that's what you want to do, which I don't think anybody who's buying that product wants to do that. But your mind's going to be in tune, that your cravings are down. What people typically do is out of habit. Well, I always have a donut at 10 o'clock at work, or, I always go to this restaurant and have this same meal every Wednesday night. Those are the types of things that will destroy what you're trying to gain right now. And so 2021 is about change, and it's about changing habits. And this product will make it that much easier to do exactly that if your goal is healthier living and weight loss, because it'll take care of a lot of those cravings. And your mind won't be saying, oh, we got to have this, we got to have that. But out of habit, you might want to do it anyway, even though the cravings are gone. Change is what it's all about. And a key word that Jason hit on today was passionate. Be passionate about your weight loss. And I'll tell you what, like Anthony said, the business will come when you show up and they say, holy cow, where's the other half of you? And I've got to talk to you about what you're doing. Well, those people who want to get involved with the business, this is the product that will propel them to great success. Aaron?
Well, Tom, we want to